Okay, we like to welcome everybody to Logan County Fiscal Court this morning. As far as the COVID report for the week, Friday the 19th, the Barron River Health Department reported 41 cases as of last Friday for that time period, which Logan County was still in the orange, and hopefully we're still there. The state has reported 23 new cases over Saturday, Sunday, and Monday since then in Logan County. And we need to remember these folks, and we need to remember our other friends that's hurting this morning. And also, with this being Thanksgiving week, we need to be thankful for what we have. And with that being said, Thomas, you'd like to lead us in our prayer?
Be glad to. Let us pray. Dear most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time and hour that you have allowed us to gather in your name and conduct the business of this county. And we thank you again for those who are willing to serve and those who are committed to making the lives of our constituents here in Logan County better and a wonderful place to live here in Logan County. And we just pray that we're just mindful that we're called here to serve. Give us the heart of that servant, Lord, as we conduct this business today. Lord, we are mindful of those in our community who are hurting and lost of loved ones recently, and those who are, again, still suffering the effects from COVID. We just pray your healing hand upon those people, Lord, and just pray that you'll strengthen them and see them back to health. Lord, and this season that we do give thanks, we have so many things to be thankful, Lord, for, and we live as free people. We live in prosperity compared to so many others around us. We have such material wealth, we have such physical wealth, and Lord, but even though we're richly blessed, we know that there's people around us that are hurting. May we generously give to those who are in need. May we give of our time, of our resources, and mainly, Lord, may we just share our love to those who are around us that are in need. Lord, we thank you for those who work hard and give their lives to protect the freedoms that we have. And Lord, we just pray that you'll put a hedge of protection around those. We thank you for our first responders, our police officers, our military personnel. And Lord, this season that they may not be with their loved ones, may they know that we honor them and we appreciate their service to our country and to those who are just needing protection. Lord, we ask that you guide us now. Give us the wisdom that we need to conduct ourselves in a manner worthy of our calling. We pray this in the wonderful name of our Savior Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call the meeting together this morning with a pledge to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to welcome our guest this morning. I know Joe Perry over here with us this morning. Joe's kind of head of the building and planning and different things for Logan County. We got Miss Sharon Armstrong and Mike Armstrong, her husband, with us. Is an item of business here in a few minutes. We got Jim Cutman here with us today, and I've got you on the agenda, Jim. And Jimmy Davenport just walked in. So I'd like to welcome everybody to Fiscal Court this morning. And first item of business this morning, I need to do an amendment to the agenda, and that's striking order number 6, a quote for employees' Christmas meal. We've already taken care of that, and I need a motion to remove that from the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next item of business is to approve the minutes from the last court meeting.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented for November the 9th meeting.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Questions? If anybody's wondering about the delay, I know I got some new people in court, you gotta wait for a bull ride, or you're supposed to before you have the vote. 8-second rule. So, okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the first item of business, well, this is on the agenda, the public hearing for consideration of public input and adoption of the Logan County 2015 to 2021 Joint Comprehensive Plan Update, and we got Sharon with us, and I don't know whether Joe's going to share anything with us today or not, but Sharon, we'll turn it over to you for this public hearing.
Whatever's best.
I don't know that it makes any difference. Some of the people out in the audience might want to come up, drag a chair up
If
where you
anybody
can
wants to be
see.
on this side, just come over. There's a chair right here. There's a couple of chairs over here. Y'all feel free to make your way on this side of the screen. Sorry about that.
There's a couple of chairs right over here.
Feel free to take a sip of coffee if you.
Now, on this comprehensive plan, I understand I've got all of the cities in the county have already had their public hearing, and they've adopted this comprehensive plan.
Yes, sir, thank you. The cities held their public hearings on the 8th, the 16th, and then today is the last public hearing for the comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plan is required by Kentucky state statute to be updated every 5 years. We're a little behind the curve. Your last full update was done in 2004. Bill Pearson, who was the previous zoning administrator for the county, asked me to update the comprehensive plan working with your planning commission. As you know, you have a joint city-county planning commission in Logan County, so all the cities have members, as does the county. So we began that process in March of last year. That's when this process started, and I wanted to especially thank Mr. Cates, who passed the process several months before we completed it, and Mr. Pearson, who worked tirelessly on behalf of the county as well. Our planning commission is made up of Bill Stamper, Christy Logan takes our minutes for us every month, Clarence Gamble, Tommy Pearson, James Milam, Jim Tribble, Justin Hopkins, Dwight Cockrell, R.B. Woodard, Roger Martin, Victor Shiplet, and Will Gregory. We'd like to thank them. They've been working on this for almost 10 months now. The adoption of the plan elements is required by KRS 100.197. It has to be done every 5 years. They don't necessarily have to change the goals and objectives, but they have to review them every 5 years in order to stay in compliance with the statute. The goals and objectives are what you're primarily concerned with. The balance of the plan is available at a link, which I will leave this presentation so that you can get to the entire plan, but it's largely demographic information that's dictated by the state. The elements we have to use their sources for data. So all of that stuff is the goals and objectives that the state wants you to focus on and what you will primarily have input on. Goal 1 is to improve and promote Logan County as a place for commerce and industry in order to improve economic development opportunities, diversify the job base, and improve the standard of living of workers or families. Does anybody have any particular issue with that goal for your community? Okay, then I'll move on. Goal 2 is to improve Logan County as a place of residence, maintaining the rural hometown atmosphere while accommodating sustainable growth. The impetus of that particular goal is that you don't allow development that you can't provide services for. so that you're doing a measured process for growth, and that's what your planning commission does. They consider that every time a project is presented to them for review. Goal 3 is to require development projects to comply with specific environmental constraints and encourage developers to preserve and embrace the general surrounding natural conditions. In some cases, that's a voluntary effort on behalf of a developer, but in most cases, that's dictated by either state or federal law. As an example, your floodplain areas are insulated, and there's a FEMA statute that dictates what occurs in a flood area. You have one here in Logan County and all of the cities. Another example of environmental stewardship is to preserve your streams and your rivers so that you always have a source of clean water. So that's a fairly straightforward goal for a community to have. Goal 4 is to provide adequate recreational facilities and open space for the citizens of Logan County and its cities. And on that particular area, you do an outstanding job. You have an extensive park system, you have lots of natural recreational areas that people can access, and you also have outlets for your youth and your citizens to use within your cities. Goal 5 is to provide the citizens of Logan County and its cities with services and community facilities that meet the standards for the current and future needs of the community. A couple of examples of that: recently you started looking at alternate space for county government. You started looking at having a countywide permitting system. Those are all kind of things that you do naturally as a government to move the jurisdictions forward. 6 is to encourage the location and development of variant appropriate land uses. An example of that is a zoning ordinance, where you wouldn't necessarily want someone to build a subdivision right next to a smelting plant. So that's just kind of using the space for what's appropriate for the area in which it's located. Goal 7 is to continue to encourage the appreciation, preservation, and restoration of historically important sites. You do that in a number of ways: the structures, but also your cultural events and activities that you host and celebrate every year. People tend to think of historic structures only when you're talking about preservation, but your history and your culture and the people who came before you are also equally important to that historical look. Goal 8 is to promote conservation and efficient use of existing community resources, and that's what the county government does in every city government. The taxpayers fund government, and you try to make the most prudent, efficient use of the funds that they give you and the resources that you have to supply services that you can possibly achieve with the budget that you have. Goal 9 is to promote community-wide energy efficiency and conservation. You do that through the adoption of building codes, and building codes kind of dictate that you are energy efficient in the construction process. Not only is that translated savings to the general world, but the people who buy those structures benefit from it because they pay reduced energy costs for the maintenance and the upkeep of that house. Goal 10 is to improve the transportation system of Logan County and its cities to safe and efficient traffic flow throughout the county. You do have a somewhat high traffic accident rate within the county. In doing the research, I discovered that you're a little bit above the state average in that. But you started to address those issues by widening roads. As an example, you now have a 4-lane all the way to Bowling Green and access to the interstate and to Patrick Parkway there. I think there's been some preliminary discussions about 4-laning to Clarksville in order to promote economic development and transportation corridors and lessen accidents in that general area. You just completed the bypass where I live. I back right up to the bypass, the new bypass. So it's a really efficient way to move goods and traffic without coming through the downtown core. Goal 11 is to adopt the land use and growth management regulations and policies to support facilitation and implementation of the comprehensive plan and to ensure fairness, standardization, and consistency in the growth management process. You do that through your subdivision regulations, which, if I understand, Joe, are now countywide. Is that correct? The subregs. So the Planning Commission, in working with the county and the cities, has now adopted one set of subdivision regulations that serves every jurisdiction. And by standardizing those, people who are in the development community and people who are moving here know what to expect because it's the same no matter where they choose to live. Secondarily, your land use maps that are included in the plan kind of generally define where growth will occur. The state would like for you to consider encouraging that growth in areas where you already have infrastructure to support that type of growth. The further you sprawl it out, the more dollar per mile that you're going to pay for water, sewer, and other services. So that compromises all of the goals and objectives for the plan, which is the part that the county and the cities get to weigh in on. So does anybody have any particular questions? And I wanted to add, this is a general guidance document that is required by the state. They define the elements that have to be contained within the plan. They define the sources that we're allowed to use for research. We can add additional things. And I'd also like to thank Nathan Carl. He spent a lot of time working with the Planning Commission in 2014 to attempt to get this updated. Hopefully, with this public hearing and then a final adoption with the Planning Commission in January, we finally reached the goal of getting this adopted after 17 years.
Do you have the slide that shows the projected population?
I do not, but I can pull that up within the plan if you would like to see that. But I can tell you that your population, we're required to use the Kentucky source, and they predict that you're going to have a population decline of about 2.5%.
That's what I noticed, and that was pretty troubling to me. I mean, I don't.
However, because we use theirs, and keep in mind that their data sources are probably not quite as current as could be had. Given the amount of building that I see, and I toured every single jurisdiction within the county in a general way to discover how much development is actually occurring. And you have pockets of development that are going out 431 towards Robertson County. You have pockets of development, particularly in Auburn. I mean, eventually Auburn and the next Warren County line are going to meet. I mean, because development's going out that way. And then there are other areas, and on average, the Planning Commission, the months that I've been there, meeting with them, there are 2 to 3 subdivision proposals that come in every month.
Yeah, I think what I noticed, it showed the age ranges that were going to be expected to decrease, and I think, was it
I don't,
ages 30-something to 40-something was expected to go way down.
That's correct.
yeah, I don't,
I think it's showing, I'm sorry.
and the last census count, Tyler, all your growth in the state of Kentucky was between 24 and what is it, 75 in between the interstates.
Doesn't sound like
The counties at the far east and the far west
Yeah.
were counties that lost population. Now, take for granted there's a couple of counties right above us that lost some population, but we gained population. And and what she got from the state and the growth don't match that. So I think we'll, unless something really slows down, inflation goes up, depression, I think we're going to see growth in Logan County.
I mean, I think there's no doubt we do a good job on promoting economic, factories and businesses coming here and employing people. But I do see a trend that people like to be employed here at those places, but they don't want to live here, and that's a trend that I see that we've definitely got to work on, and some of those goals address that. I mean, I think that's something that definitely for us to think about those goals.
I think you bring up a very interesting question and observation, Mr. Davenport. It's kind of a balance of how much growth you want and how quickly you can absorb it, as opposed to a declining population and getting the word out. I think that one thing in your favor, particularly now in the middle Tennessee region surrounding Nashville, is that prices there have gone through the roof for residential houses. I mean, it's staggering. how much they've gone up. In some instances, people who are somewhat Nashville adjacent, but in an additional county or a county that outlies, in Cheatham County, which is one county from Nashville, it's on I-24, halfway between Clarksville and Nashville, dead in the center. Their prices on average for housing have gone up almost 190%. So,
In how long?
in less than 2 years. So it's a staggering amount of money. And I'll give you a personal example just to give you some context. We lived in a subdivision in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Pretty little town, not a huge amount of economic development. You have your typical off the interstate sort of stuff and a few local businesses. We sold our house at 73% higher than we paid for it. So it was a ridiculous amount, and right now they're so challenged with housing. I think that particularly in Robinson County, next door to you, if people had any idea how affordable prices are here, by the time we decided to move, because we wanted to be closer to our kids who live just across the line, and some of our family actually lives in Logan County, out from Daly. But by the time we started looking, we were priced out of the market in Middle Tennessee. At our age, stable people, my husband retired after 30 years in the Marine Corps, and we were priced out of the market in a place that we had lived since 2003. So that's something that you can use to your benefit in this community. But the other side of that equation, Mr. Davenport, is that balancing infrastructure to make sure you're ready for that type of development. One of the things that Tennessee does not do well is put in the infrastructure. So what you end up is you end up with a very narrow road with no shoulders, and then they permit 1,800 houses in a subdivision down that stretch of road going towards the schools. And then after they're all developed, then they realize traffic is an issue. So right now, it got to the point before those houses were built, they were just under development, just the grading work was being done. I sat at the end of my driveway for 25 minutes to back out onto the street. In a very small town with a population of 5,000 people, that's unacceptable to sit that long. So those are the types of things that while you may be not the fastest growing community on the planet, I think if you market the availability of affordable housing, your park systems for the size of this county and city are extraordinary. You have really good, you could use more, but I'm saying there are communities all over this region of the country where you may have one city park. It's the size of a postage stamp. It's just large enough to get a playground set in for kids to play on, a bench or two for mom to sit on to watch them. So I would explore that area. You also have Lake Malone, which could be marketed. The cost of water-based properties right now in other areas is higher than it is for just housing that is not waterfront. Some of the other things that you do well here is your cultural activities and the celebrations and the things that you embrace. And I know the chamber reaches out, and I know that your leads works very hard for this, but I think if the target audience were a little closer to you demographically, you might find a very different result than you're getting right now. Simply because we came here for a couple of reasons. One, it's close to our kids. But secondarily, the housing market is stable here. So what's happening now is properties around you in Tennessee, just across the line, don't even go on the listing. They're selling before they're even listed. The people that are moving in are most of them are coming from California, Michigan, Minnesota. Who knew, right? All of a sudden. So those are some things that you might consider looking at.
I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want to be Bowling Green. I don't want to be growing to where, we're busting out the seams. I want us to maintain. When my kids get older, I want them to want to stay here. I want them to want to live here. But I think that, maybe with today's kids or something, maybe when they go to college and they go to some of the other cities, maybe they learn to like what they got there. you know, which, me personally, I think it's perfect living here, because you're 30 minutes from everything, you know. But yeah, I mean, but like I said, I think some of the goals that are presented should cover that, and something that we can move forward with on trying to keep our young population here and not
Absolutely.
moving away from us, so.
I think that's a challenge that almost every rural county in the country faces, and I do planning work across 3 different states. And your sister states, and they're all located right around here, your sister states struggle with the same things. When your young people graduate, whether it's high school or they go on to college, getting them to come home, you know, so they can bring that talent and that skill set back home is always a goal that you should see. And then as young people migrate away, then you struggle to fill teaching spots, fire department spots, hospital spots. You know, you're trying to attract that so that you can keep your services going. So while you don't want to be overrun with growth, if they're moving out of mom and daddy's house when they get married, they're going to need a place to live.
That's right.
So if there's not a huge market of open housing, and there's not, you need to provide some alternatives to attract them in. And you want those, and like most kids at Christmas time, young people who recently graduate school always go for the new and shiny.
That's right.
Let me ask you a question. How often do you all meet as a committee?
The planning
planning
commission of
committee.
Logan County meets once a month, unless they don't have something on the agenda. This committee has been meeting since February for the comprehensive plan only. That's just one of the functions that your planning commission does. Your planning commission reviews division of property within the county, subdivisions, and checks them for infrastructure and all the requirements they need to build out. That occurs every month. This process started, I met with them the first time in February. We began the redraft of the plan in March. And then unfortunately, Mr. Cates passed away, which kind of slowed the process down for a couple of months. So here we are in November, and we finally got to the end of this process. But they meet once a month, and Joe Perry behind you, do all of you know Mr. Perry? Mr. Perry is the zoning administrator who serves the planning commission. So I'm the project planner for this project. Normally you have this done by Brad, and my understanding is they're pretty expensive to do it. They don't do them anymore. They stopped doing them. So they kind of left you on your own to get it done.
I feel that quite a bit.
Are there any questions from the people who are attending? I think we had a public hearing twice with the planning commission. We started this process because the public has a right to know what we're doing. And we had folks who assumed that this was a regulatory document. It's required by a regulation, but it's not regulatory. This does not dictate how you divide property. It does not dictate how you comply with zoning or other requirements for infrastructure. This is the large house document that all of the other things are subsequent to. So what it does, the only regulatory process of this is within your future land use. If something's not located within future land use, because you also have to think about preserving farming and agricultural and spots for industrial or manufacturing base as well. If you consume all that land for other purposes, then that creates another disconnect within your community. With this document, if it's not located within a future land use area, you're not supposed to permit it unless there's a compelling reason for permitting the division of property. So in my world, and I'm a planner, I'm a land use planner, that's what I do by trade. These documents exist in every state in this country in varying forms. Kentucky has some of the most clearly written statutes with regard to comprehensive plans. In Georgia, it's more of a punitive process. If you don't complete the comprehensive plan on time, they shut off all state money until you do. So that means you don't get any state money for your schools, you don't get road money, you don't get anything, which sends the governments into a panic. In Tennessee, it's called a growth plan. way more loosely constructed. It's kind of a concept plan rather than nuts and bolts. Yours is very practically written.
Okay, is there any other question?
I thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you for putting it together.
Okay, I guess at this time, since the public hearing's over, we need to have a motion for adoption of the Logan County 2015-2021 Joint Comprehensive Plan.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item on the list is approval of the bills and the supplemental bill list.
Motion to approve the bills and supplemental bill list.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, Amanda, treasurer's report.
Morning.
In your folders, you should have a budget amendment that we need to have the second reading and adoption of. It's ordinance number 21220-04, amendment number 1. This is to amend in unrealized receipts from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. This will increase revenue code 014503, federal reimbursement refund by $27,675.03. 014733 insurance reimbursement by $2,559.75, which will increase expenditure code 01501540 sheriff maintenance vehicles by $2,559.75, and 01516566 drug task force reimbursement by $27,675.03.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, do we have a second?
Second. Second.
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And I do have two cash transfers for you today. We need to transfer $125,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
I'm making a motion.
Okay,
Second.
we got a motion and a second for the transfer. Any questions?
Why is that one so high? Two payrolls or what's?
We don't have two payrolls this time. Your transfers next time will be a little bit higher because we will have three payrolls, I believe.
Okay.
But today, the balance in the jail fund is $37,349.85. We have bills to be paid of $18,750.37, utilities in the amount of $20,000, and we're estimating payroll to be $90,000. So that's what we're figuring into that cash transfer.
Okay, we had a motion and a second on that, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there any other question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And we also need to transfer $175 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the special reserve fund.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on the transfer. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
That's all I have for you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Okay, road work request, Daly.
District 1, Kelly, maybe out on Dennis Road, we got a couple breaks on the, maybe on the side, we might do a little patching on it. I can go out there with you sometime if we want to check it out. And maybe some future planning on that road, we can see if we can do something about those roots that are coming up. I don't know, right in there probably needs some ditch work, right there, right where them roots are. But other than that, continue maintenance. I appreciate everything. Where are we on the, do we put that out for bid for the,
On that, you talking about that mower?
yeah, the mower?
We got it, yes, and it's to be open on next court meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
District 2, everything's good. Thanks for what you're doing.
District 3, we're good. Kelly, thank you.
Thank you.
District 4, continue maintenance. Thank you.
District 5, only complaints I'm getting, Kelly, in the last month or two, mainly is the ones we can't do anything about. And that's, I guess, is on the railroad crossing on 6880 going into Auburn, or going towards Bowling Green. I mean, people calling me and I say, I can't do nothing about it. Everybody knows you go to Bowling and how rough they are. But anyway, everything, just continue, everything's good.
Are they doing any more paving this season? Okay. Clematis, if we get the paperwork,
It's already done.
it was
It's,
good?
according to Joe, it's a recorded plat,
Okay.
and according to state law, once they're approved and recorded, they realistically become a county road.
Paved clematis.
That's what I called you about yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried calling you back, you were gone. Anyhow, continue maintenance, everything looks good, I appreciate it.
You gonna repave clematis?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all heard the road
one I
work
just
request.
added
Is
to
there
the
any
county road
questions?
system. It's in a subdivision.
He needs a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the road work request as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second to approve the road work request. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley.
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, elected officials, Mary called me a few minutes ago, she had a call this morning, wasn't able to be here. So, Scotty, you got anything to do? No, sir. Steve, have you got anything?
Good morning. I have a personnel action request today. I have a new hire that we hired on November 15th. And I will not butcher his name by trying to pronounce it. He is Bosnian born, native. He's got 7 years of law enforcement experience through Simpson County. We call him Al.
Has somebody retired or you just need an extra one?
Just filling the spot we had open.
We're gonna let Tyler read that one.
Google it, translate it, type it into Google, let them read it.
Better give it back where I can spell it right then. I can Google it.
Y'all want to see this?
I
What you
don't
call
want to
him?
read it, but I want to see it.
Al.
His
They
first
calling
name
him
is a
Al.
male.
A male.
I can get the first
The
name.
what?
His first name is a male.
A male?
The last is,
How do you pronounce that name?
Narraville?
we're waiting on you.
Narraville?
Naravich, yes, it's around that area.
So it's a new hire, 1859, credited 7 years experience. Did you check it? Where'd he go?
7 years.
Simpson County.
7.
Yes, 1859.
Yeah. Full new time hire.
Yeah. See it.
Okay, so it's good to me. Get our attorney to read that.
I met him, and I'm gonna call him out. He seems very, very eager to.
He is. He's a very, very good guy and is eager to come
Just
to
say
work.
what's his name?
What's his name?
Make a motion to approve the personal action request for Emil Nezarivo. That sounds good.
What's his name?
With 7 years credit experience on base schedule LC-SO-1 as a full-time employee.
I second that. And that's a joke between Steve and I.
An effective hire date, November 15th, 2021.
Oh, I thought you was through, I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was too.
I still second it.
Started November 15th.
November 15th, gotcha.
Okay, we have a second, right?
Yeah.
Robert Earl. Okay, any questions?
James needs it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes,
Chick.
Yes.
That's all I had.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Phil.
Thank you, Judge Chick. Good morning, Court.
Good morning.
I'm glad to report today that we don't have any COVID in our jail.
Awesome.
Okay, today we have a total of 142 inmates in our facility. 98 of those are county, 44 are state. And we have 5 open quarantine beds.
I didn't understand that last.
5 open quarantine beds.
Okay. Okay. I heard everything else except that,
Okay.
Phil. I apologize.
Do we have a few that we've taken somewhere else on the county side still? Is that right? Didn't we take some to another
Some
jail?
state.
Some state, okay.
We shipped some state inmates out.
The ones that hadn't been reclassified yet.
And we still have, I think, 11 on the county side that have not been classified or waiting,
Waiting for the Department of Corrections.
What is control intakes? What's that?
That means they have been sentenced and they have not been classified yet, so you control where they are classified. And once they're classified, you'll have a classification on their security.
So those state inmates that you sent somewhere else, did that overcrowd somebody else, or
No.
their populations?
Yeah, it's where they could handle the situation, handle that number. Actually, we sent them to 2 different jails.
Sounds like you made the situation better anyway as far as.
It is much better and much better to manage. But still not,
Understandable.
we would like to see those other 11 either be classified or called up to prison.
That's understandable.
And maybe someday they will. I think the state representative was clear last time he was here that he is holding their feet to the fire. So we want to know why. They're not being classified. Why the Department of Corrections is not meeting their statutory requirement. So one day maybe that'll get worked out. Any questions on that? I do have some personnel action requests for them.
Make a motion to approve the personal action request of Tina E. Moore. She is moving from, she's being added to a stipend schedule of LC-DC-1S1 with 1 year experience.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second, and I didn't hear the name, but,
Tina Moore.
okay. Is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the personal action request for Jeffrey L. Dye with 2 years previous experience or credit experience. He is also being moved to the LC-DC-1S1 stipend schedule.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. On the personnel request, is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
So, sorry, I need to go back to the Tina Moore effective date of change is November 29th. Everybody still good with that? Same thing with Jeffrey Dye, that's correct, right? Okay. It'll be next month. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve the personal action request for LCA Skipworth. Effective date 11/29/21. At 0 years of experience, she's being promoted to LC-DC-1S1 stipend schedule.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. On personnel request, question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Tell them all
motion.
congratulations on their promotions.
I will, and thank you all for the increase on the pay as well. I'd like to report to the court, I don't like to, I just want to report to the court, we have one guard who's in the hospital as a result of assault by an inmate on that individual. They seem to be doing okay this morning, but just want to let you know that there's one in the hospital.
Let them know we're praying for them.
Yes, sir.
Can you disclose what happened?
They, without saying their names and they're violating any HIPAA stuff.
Right, yeah. Just general.
It was a severe bite, tried to bite their finger off. It became very infected, and now they're in the hospital and receiving treatment for that. Had to stay overnight.
And the inmate that did the assault,
It was the second time that inmate assaulted others. Hopefully, we're going to charge them with assault on a correctional officer. We are going to charge them with assault on a correctional officer with injury now. And I'm pretty sure that our prosecutor will request they prosecute them to the fullest.
are they still detained here at Logan
We
County?
still are having to deal with that individual. So,
You had to put a muzzle on 'em like a dog, I guess.
it's a hostile work environment. I keep saying that, and this is just evidence to back that up. It's a hostile work environment. We just had one convicted of murder and went to prison yesterday. We have others facing murder charges, drug charges, child molesters. I can go on. So it's a dangerous, hostile environment we work in. I don't think we pay them enough, so that's another debate. So, but anyway, y'all want to talk about the policies and procedures of the jail?
Sure. That's something we want to talk about.
Y'all had a chance to review them and maybe
I was able to.
get a motion to approve them?
Are there any changes? I guess that's the easiest thing for me to ask. I apologize, I didn't bring them, Phil. So is there any changes?
No changes.
So it's exactly what's on the books today?
Right.
Okay. Pretty easy then for me.
Yeah.
If we're not changing anything.
The only thing was we had some COVID-19 additional add-ons with that, and that was,
I've got a copy of everything.
You got a copy?
That's everybody.
Yeah.
Old Robert Earl took it home last night.
Yeah, I took it on ready. I would never be on that unless I was gonna run for jailer.
there are a lot
Yeah, I read a whole lot of it.
statutes and.
Sure, some of it you know, common sense.
Right. You know, we go by the Kentucky jail standards. We go by Kentucky administrative regulations, Kentucky revised statutes, guidelines from the CDC on the COVID stuff, and the Health Department and KCOP and others. So,
And like I said, Robert, I skimmed it, you know, but I would not catch a change unless probably you told me, because the last time I read that was a year ago, and probably a year ago, I just skimmed it then. So I'm relying on you to tell me if there's any changes, and then I'd say, hey, yeah, this is a change, sounds good, we support that change, or no, we don't. But if you're telling me there's no changes to it,
there are no changes.
so,
Kentucky jail standards are the same, the statutes are the same, so
yeah, just something we have to do every year.
it's just a formality.
I do have a question to ask you. And like I said, I've saw it, and most of the things in there looks like common sense, you know, and that you, would you be open to, and I think you would, because I know you're a team player and you want everybody to be on the same page, would you be open to us, or working with the judge to set up a time and a date to where we could have, it's called a working session, and invite the other arresting agencies in the county? So you can just say, this is our policy, clean slate, this is our policy. This is what we expect when you come to jail. And just give a chance for everybody to understand the policy, and for you to explain the policy, or somebody, staff, explain the policy, just so everybody's on the same page, clean slate. And I just think it would be healthy for them to make sure they understand where the jail comes from, and you can explain everything to them. Would you be open to doing something like, I'm not saying we can go ahead and pass the day and it changes, but I think it would be beneficial if you're open to that, working with the judge and setting up I'd call it a working session, just, you know, if you wanted to come and bring a policy, and we can invite the other arresting agencies, and you can just say, this is what we expect, here's our policy, that's why we expect you to do that, that's why we expect you to do that, you know. Just teamwork and just to get everybody on the same page, so you can help everybody understand better. And I think they understand, but maybe it hasn't been revisited in a while. Do you think that's something we could do?
Absolutely. Okay. We've had those meetings with hospitals and other arresting agencies, and take them a tour of the jail, started the booking process, and when they come in, the very beginning of it all, we've had those meetings, and I would be open to anyone, the court included.
Yeah. I would come.
To come down and visit and tour the jail, and see what the process is. Thursdays would be a good day for you to come down. That's court day. We probably send out, I don't know, 30 or 40 people to court that day. But yes, sir, that's you know, just whenever you all want to do it, I encourage the court and other agencies to, you know, come down, set up a time. Okay. We'll feed you some jail food.
I have ate it before, and it's pretty good.
And I say that joking, but I have a meal every now and then just to see that the food is good.
I enjoyed the tour that you did a couple years ago when I first figure out the ins and outs, and learn more about the jail. I'd be up for doing it again.
You need to do more than just a tour. You need to spend a little time. You can do it in my office, watch the cameras. I've got several cameras in my office, and just see that hardly ever those people on the floor get to sit down. They're constantly in motion, moving people from cell to cell, to medical, to court, to booking them in. So I would encourage it.
I think maybe as far as the working session I was talking about, is more so geared towards just the handoff portion of it, from the resting agencies to your staff. Just make sure that they understand what y'all expect, and this is the way it's gotta be. And this is our policy, and this is why. Just so, you know, there are no questions, and they say, well, why? Well, you know, we had that meeting, we talked about it several times, this is why. So that's the only thing I was just curious if that, I mean, I think it would be beneficial for everybody just to get together and talk about it.
I completely agree, and you'll find out that we operate the jail off of Kentucky jail standards, the Kentucky regulations, and the KRSs. And
Yeah.
I would strongly entertain that.
Okay.
All right, well, okay, this, I understand I've got this got to be voted on every year by the report.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. If it's, if nothing's changed, we've already approved it before.
So for today, we just need to approve the policies and procedures.
Right. Of the jail.
I think you're acknowledging it.
Acknowledge.
Because he's approved it, you know, it's his duty as constitutional officer, just kind of like somebody's budget that comes.
I think the approved part needs to be in there as well.
Okay. Are we supposed to approve it? Is that what we're doing as a court? Okay. All right.
I
Put it
will
on
make
there.
a motion to approve the policies and procedures from the Logan County Jailer.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any other question?
Judge, we might just, I'll get with you, maybe we can, and the jailer, and we'll set up a time, maybe we can have a working session and invite resting agencies. You know, it can be here, it can be at the jail, wherever, just so they can get a refresher on what to expect when they come to jail. And this is what the jailer expects, and that's what the rules that we have to follow.
And if the rest of the agencies want to spend time inside the jail, that'll be fine too.
Okay. We'll get together on that.
Okay, no other questions, comments? Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crosley,
Crossley.
Yes.
sorry, Wright,
Oh, he's still waiting.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank you, Court.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Phil.
Too quiet in there.
Okay, department head, Ginger. You don't have anything to do? Okay, Nathan?
Good morning.
Morning.
Just very briefly, as far as our recycling program, just to go over how that's going for us, we have continued to receive Logan Aluminum's cardboard from Jonathan Sears, and also several stops. We are working on different bins and unloading those. We have had 13 bales since the last court meeting, so we'll have a full report at the beginning of the month, but I just wanted to let y'all know that.
Yeah, thank you and Tim for the hard work. Y'all done a good job. Appreciate it.
Failed.
And that's pretty much what I just wanted to share briefly.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Questions?
Thank you for checking on that other stuff for me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for picking that stuff up off the side of the road.
Thank you.
yeah, I gotta get him to
Okay,
copy that. Can you give- Did you not sign it?
Kelly.
Oh, I didn't realize you had it signed.
Morning.
I got a personnel action request.
All right.
It's on new hire,
I'll get you a copy when I.
new hire.
New hire.
Mr. Tom Newman, 9 years experience.
It's for heavy equipment operator.
Tom worked out Logan on him one time.
No, that's,
He worked there
yeah, that's
20-some
right.
odd years.
He signs it down there.
Did he retire out there?
Yeah, and he works at State now. He's been there 6 years.
Worked for Joe Neal.
He's a great man. They're hard to come by. Diameter.
Grader? Did you say he worked for Joe Neal?
He did at one time.
You know?
I know.
Roofed his house, I'm pretty sure, many years ago.
Okay.
That's the only time
Everybody's
even I know.
house.
He worked at Logan Aluminum.
Since 1988, you probably lived everybody's house in Logan County.
Not quite, but I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. He worked at Logan with my dad.
It was down there, he worked on Logan too.
He'll start at 29.
Okay, is that, you get that on there? Effective or start at 29?
About how old is he?
61.
Okay.
Now, don't say nothing about his age now, because it'll get you in trouble. You know, it's discrimination.
Well, I just wonder if it was hard. I knew we couldn't be hard on nobody at 25 if he's got everything set up. I thought 61 was young.
I hope so. I'm getting closer to it every day.
Yeah, it's Tyler's department.
10 years away from me.
Make a motion to approve personal action request of Tom Ray Newman, the new hire. It'll be in the stipend schedule of LC-RD-1S1 with 9 years experience. Effective November 29th, 2021.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions?
The one in Pee-wee's position.
Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Jake,
Get your new phone?
Yes.
Yeah. I know you still ain't receiving all my emails like you
You
should.
got the side there. You must be bluegrass.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. You got anything
Thank you,
else to
Kelly.
report? Okay, now I guess you heard Thomas on that one road. And Thomas, you go look at that other road that I was telling you about,
You got to jog my memory again. Which road is it?
out Cedar Ridge or whatever it is that,
I have not. Yeah, I was gonna get with Kelly and we go out there together. We've had a request to look at a road out there in Cedarwood
Cedarwood.
subdivision, between here and Auburn, halfway between here and Auburn. Yeah, just holler at me. I'll go out there and look at it with you.
Okay, judge's announcement for the day. Shaco 31st Annual Christmas Parade will be on December the 5th, beginning at 2 p.m. The Lewisburg Christmas Parade is December the 11th at 4 p.m. The Auburn Christmas Parade is on December the 12th at 2 p.m. And also, there should be a thank you card somewhere on the table, thanking the court for their contribution to Dojo Family Christmas from the Fiscal Court. And is there any other announcements that I've missed?
Are we trying to do something for the Christmas parades, like ride as a day official?
I mean, it's up to y'all. I mean, I will if y'all get something together.
Read those off again for me, Judge.
December 5th at 2 for Shaco.
Okay, at 2 p.m.?
Yes. December 11th, 4 p.m. is in Lewisburg, but I did not catch where December 12th, 2 p.m. was.
Auburn, their day afterwards, I think.
Shaco's the 5th at 2 o'clock.
Okay, if there's no other announcements of anything going on in the community, we set this aside, time aside in court for citizen participation. If there's anybody that would like to address the court, we ask that you come forward, state your name, some vicinity of the county that you live in, We don't ask for your address, but we ask that you do so at this time. And Jimmy, I guess you're about the only guest. I don't know if you want to say anything in the court or not. You come up there and state your name, so we'll have it on record.
I can talk about it right here. Y'all know I am Jimmy Davenport, and I want to say, this is a big Friday night in our community. Everybody try to support the Cougars and the Panthers this weekend.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, that's one important announcement I didn't make. And okay, we'll move on to new business, and we got Jim Kutzman here with us to address scope. So Jim, if you'll come forward.
He's like me. You who?
Thank you, Judge. I'm here today on behalf of the Auburn Rural Fire Department. We are purchasing a new fire truck for the Auburn rural area. It is a 1,800-gallon pumper tanker. We have secured right at half the funds right now. And what I'm here today to do is to talk to the Fiscal Court to see if we could secure the rest of the funds for the truck. The truck will be purchased through a company that is Atlantic. They bought out Finley. We have been working on this truck since the 10th month of 2019. The truck is being built right now in Florida. I've got the purchase amount and everything here. What we are asking for it would be $237,000. That truck will be NFPA compliant.
So I'm assuming the total price is 474.
473. 239.92.
That's more than one copy.
Oh, there is one
Oh, yeah.
copy. I thought that was all.
So you've already purchased the truck?
Yes, sir. We've done purchase.
Sorry about that.
Wow. It should, right now, it is scheduled to be delivered in April.
While we're looking, was it a fire or a wreck this morning?
It was a car wreck.
A wreck, okay. I mad at the reason I said that.
You say this truck holds 1,800 gallons?
1,800 gallons. It's a pumper tanker.
Is it a ladder truck?
No, sir. It's a pumper tanker. It's got a hydraulic dump tank on it, so when we pull up on a scene that we can put the dump tank down on the ground, then at that time we can either choose to use that truck to pump out of or shuttle water with. It is a 5-man cab, so we're trying to eliminate the personnel of driving their own POVs so we can have more people in that truck. That also helps out with ISO certifications out of New York.
Youngstown Fire Department, is it supposed to volunteer?
Yes, it's volunteer.
Or is there nobody at the station when
No,
the
sir.
truck leaves?
No, sir.
So is Auburn sort of like Lewisburg? You've got the city and the rural.
Yeah, we have the city and the rural in the same building.
So it's, for me,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Is this truck strictly for Auburn, or is it rural, or both, or
It'll
what?
be a rural truck.
It'd be what?
It'll be a rural truck.
Okay.
But you can mutual aid with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as it stands right now, we have mutual aid agreements with Darrell, Russell, Rural, and Lewisburg because they touch us. But then we do also back up Browning that's in Warren County, and we also back up Simpson County in that part of the area out 103 Hot Knob, in that area up around Hardison Road, stuff like that, around the plant up there around Precision Strip.
Did you give them specs on how you wanted that truck prepared and
Yes, sir.
built?
You know, for me, it's hard to say no when it comes to our emergency services. You know, it's not to be in support of something like this, because I'm in support. I mean, that's what I do for a living, is the emergency service side of selling caution and emergency equipment. But I'm afraid on something like this, you know, if the county, if we contribute $237,000, then we're gonna have to, you know, we got 4 other rural departments that we're gonna have to help fund, which we do annually. I think our payment's in January each year. Is that when it comes?
We'll make that payment right after first of the year.
First of the year. So I think, you know, as far as for me, and I don't know if the board would agree with me, but you know, I think we need to look at upping our contributions to the rural departments, and you know, and not do a one-time deal like this. I don't know if y'all are dependent upon the county having to fund this. I know you said you've secured half of it. You know, what's the route if you don't get the other half?
Oh, I can get the rest of the money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sort of on the same page with Jason. You know, with that much money, of course, you know, just like y'all, we work on a budget. We have a certain amount of budget that we have for certain things. And I agree with Jason that I think we can do more for the departments if we increase the yearly contribution. But if we increase y'all's by 20 or 30%, then we're going to increase everybody's. So, and for something that's that much money, and to me, that's a lot of money. For that much money, I would feel if we were in the process from the beginning, you know, that's a lot of money. Like you've already purchased the truck, but I think I'm with Jason on us. You know, the next budget time we do the budget is that we increase the contribution that we give you, just because that number never changes. You know, if you come and get money here for this, money here for that, well, if we increase y'all's yearly contribution, then that's moving forward, helping y'all with your, you know, you've got this much revenue and you got this much bills you got to take care of. I think we can be more impactful by increasing your yearly amount. But when we do that, we can also increase everyone else's, because we're here to support all of the rural fire departments, and we have to be fair. I mean, I think we have helped on buildings and stuff in the past. I wasn't on the court, but you know, that's a permanent structure. But I'm in agreement with Jason. I don't know how everybody else feels about that.
Has the county ever, I'm like Tyler, this is our first round, has Tyler ever helped with equipment, like
No.
in this large of a, so that's been dependent upon their yearly?
I can remember one time a fire department getting a match grant for the oxygen things that you wear.
Air packs.
What'd you call it?
Air packs.
Air packs.
SCBA.
Yeah, and it was a matching grant situation, and they were, you know, it just kind of come up, you know what I'm saying? So they had come, wasn't nowhere near this money, but that is the only thing I remember, Judge, and I don't even remember which fire department it was. But it seemed like, and I want to say it was Auburn, but man, that was early on. That was 10 plus years ago. That's the only thing I remember as far as equipment.
You know, we just got to be fair to each.
You know, and I think it was like $5,000 or $8,000. I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't $100,000.
But I mean, probably what you're going to do is I guess you're going to borrow the money.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
If you increase.
we don't look at it as we're not giving you the money, but if we increase our contribution, it'll help to make a payment.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? We might not write a check $237,000, but next budget year we'll make sure that we do an increase for everyone that'll help you make the payment on that truck.
And the conversation needs to be a significant increase with the inflation and everything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
We just don't need to increase it $5,000.
Right. I agree.
You know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
and that's my thought. So anybody else got any?
Yeah, I've got one more thing. Back to what I asked a while ago. Y'all spec it out.
Yes, sir.
Almost $500,000
Yes, sir.
for, you fill it up with water and you pump it out.
Yes, sir.
Does it have to have all the extras that create that to be almost $500,000?
Okay.
Yes or
He works in
no?
emergency services, so I can tell you.
It's a yes or no?
Does it?
the way that you look at things, and I'm
Well, I
just
was
gonna
on
try
the
to
fire
explain to
department.
you a little bit.
I was on the fire department here in town
Right,
for several years.
right.
And I still, even back then, there was so much chrome and just so many things that didn't have to be there
Right.
to create that truck not to pump the water out.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's,
Well, I'm gonna tell you, this truck right here, it's a bare bone truck. It doesn't have any bells or whistles or anything like that. A $500,000 truck today, that's a cheap truck.
I mean, this truck's gonna be in service for 40 or 50 years.
Yeah.
So,
But
I mean, right now, basically what this truck right here is gonna do, it's gonna replace a 1969 1,000-gallon tanker truck I've got, and it's gonna replace a 1973 1,000-gallon tanker truck I got.
But Jack,
That's basically what it's gonna do.
I'd rather have a $500,000 truck out there trying to put my
I'm not saying
house
that.
out, as I
I'm
have
not
a
saying
$500,000 combine sitting out there trying to put it
I'm
out.
not saying that. I'm just saying that
Well, you
I'm
know,
confused on why it costs $500,000, basically $500,000.
I can basically tell you,
Get that-
it's because it's a fire truck and it's got emergency services on it.
Yeah.
It's got what?
It's got emergency services wrote on it, and it's called a fire truck. That's kind of like me going down here and buying an axe down here at the hardware store and giving $20 for an axe. Or I turn around and buy one that they tell me that I've got to buy because it's NFA approved, and I give $125 for that axe.
that's exactly right.
Yeah. They know you gotta have it.
That's right, that's exactly right.
They know you gotta have it.
I mean, this truck has 5 air packs on it. It's probably going to be about $40,000.
Is it going to, you think, possibly improve y'all's rating?
Yes.
Okay, so which would in return help homeowners?
Right.
Because you'll keep your other truck in service.
Right.
And this will just go, yeah, I mean, hey, I'm all in favor of helping the fire departments and stuff. We just gotta equally.
I just feel like we'll be more impactful for you, not just for this truck, but for the future if we increase your yearly contribution.
We've got to start somewhere.
Right.
And that's what I'm here today
Yeah.
for.
And that's, you know, you have my commitment that when we do that I'll advocate for that to be increased pretty well. And I think that's the route that I would like to see the court go. I don't think it'd be any action today what we need to do, but it is just, I'll personally give you my commitment that I'll advocate for it, for y'all to get more yearly, you know, and that doesn't go away. You know, it's not just a one-shot deal, you know. Because we do $273,000, I mean, I don't know if we want to have to remove that for a little while, but I don't want to do that. I want to see it moving forward. I want to see y'all get the money you need to meet your bills, if that includes making payments for a truck, so.
Did you say this was a 4-door?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When a truck leaves the station, how many people, as a rule, would be there?
If you go by NFPA compliant, that truck needs to leave with no less than 3 people.
Yeah, okay.
And I run a squad out of my station that has an officer in it. So that's 4. That's how many people you have to make an entrance on a fire for your very first attack unit in. That's 4 people.
Well, don't misunderstand me. I want you to have the very best of what's out there. But it's always confused me, and I always felt like that there's so much expense on one of them. And I know it says fire truck, and that's why. It just seems like it's just an over cost.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it is what it is, and I mean.
I know,
it's
I know.
something-
I mean, I can tell you
You
this.
fill
much.
it up with water and you pump it out.
My guys wanted a brow light put on it, okay? And that brow light, I mean, I can park it out here in the old house in parking lot over here, and it will literally light the whole parking lot, one light. When I bedded that out and asked them, that light was almost $3,000. I told them to leave it off the truck.
Well,
You know, I mean, 'cause I couldn't see $3,000. Now, will that truck get a brow light? Yeah, it probably will get a brow light, but it's gonna come from Superior.
Right.
you know,
And we're gonna install it ourselves.
Yeah.
when I first started with the fire department, we didn't have Scott air packs. And then Scott air packs came about. Very important thing to have. I was the first guy in Logan County to ever put one on. And the first fire that we ever went in was Houghton, not Houghton's, but Klein's down here. When it burned. Very important item to have. Same with a fire truck. You gotta have it. And you need the best. I just always confused why it costed that blame much. So,
Well, we appreciate all the fire departments do volunteer. I mean, you volunteer to do what you do, and that's commendable. We appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do.
I've been here 31 years.
31, that's all.
Appreciate it, man.
And she's 10 years.
Well, I don't want you to look at it as, for me, I don't want you to look at it as a failed attempt, but because I personally, give you my commitment that we will, or I will advocate for you to get more money every year to help you make this payment. We just can't do it. We're already in our budget year, so we can't do it right now. But for sure, so.
No, I was running late. We had to work that car wreck, and I've got the full blueprints and everything of the truck, and it was laying at the station. And like I said, we worked that car wreck this morning. It ended up being a fatality. And
Unless anybody else got any.
it's terrible. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like the court wants to address this at budget time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, we got lower interest rate. It's financed through Auburn Banking Company. Yeah, we try to stay local.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there's any kind of emergency deal that you got to break through government or not on the rate.
Oh, we got it right at 2%.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good rate.
And I can tell you our payment's gonna run us about $30,000 for 10 years. Somewhere between 27 and 30,000.
The interest 47.40.
We'll see if we can help you out on some of that.
37.
Oh, we appreciate it. And don't get me wrong, we appreciate everything that you all do. And
Well, and you need things like this, and I want to make sure that y'all are able to afford it and buy it. I just feel like we're more impactful if we can do that on a yearly basis, and it's set, and you know that's what you're going to get from the county, and you can work that into your budget. So,
Thank you for coming and
Yeah, man.
advocating for the department.
thank you, man.
thanks for y'all giving me the time to be able to do it.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Next item of business is to approve the reappointment of Ellen Daly to the Human Rights Commission for a 2-year term ending November 16th of 2023. And this is one of those situations where COVID affected this group of people, but fortunately they hadn't had a lot of complaints, so we're a little bit behind on the reappointment, but
So moved, the appointment of Ellen Neely.
Second.
okay, is there any questions? And we're looking for a couple of people to serve on that human rights deal. So, any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley.
yes,
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve the appointment of Lois Farmer Brown to the Todd County Water Commission. I know me and somebody on the court had a conversation about the Todd County Water Commission. I can't remember which one of you I was talking to, but they serve all the homes, or the biggest part of the homes around Lake Malone and the Deer Lick area here in Logan County.
Okay,
So,
that was my question. I'm wondering why.
And with that being done, we make 2 appointments to that water commission.
Todd County Water comes really, gets close to Lewisburg. Lots of Lake Malone.
Yeah.
Lots of the northwest.
I didn't know that.
That's the reason we appoint a couple of commissioners to it.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere around $500-600.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the reappointment of Lewis Farmer Brown.
It's Lois, I think.
Lois.
I second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley.
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, this next item of business is, and I guess, Tyler, you still wanted it done, to retract the motion 18 on, number 18 on 11/9/21 fiscal court meetings. Motion by Tyler Davenport, second by Jack Crowley, to approve an encroachment on Cates Bypass Road by North Logan Water District, continuing upon boring under the road and not cutting through it.
Okay, so I went out there and met with the North Logan Water guy, and there's rock on both sides of this road. I mean, it's nothing but rock. So the homeowners actually, and I guess I didn't realize that or I didn't understand the entire story, is that for someone building a house over there and they're ready to move in 2 weeks and don't have water. So the way North Logan's policy is that whatever it takes to get water there, the homeowner gets the cost. Or if it's 7 lots, they divide it by 7. So, like I said, I went out there. The homeowner actually had to rent a piece of equipment special to bust up a bunch of rock. I mean, they're living on rock, basically. But, and I know the road board is going to cost a ton more money, and it's going to be passed on to these people that are just built a house, trying to enjoy their new house. And I've talked to them about what they can do, and they're going to, they would do a road cut instead of the bore just because of the extra cost that they will pass on to the homeowner. And they would do, y'all been some areas where East Logan's cut our roads a ton, and they put concrete and then a metal plate over it, and it's really smooth when it's done. That's what they're going to do instead of the road board, is because of all the rock that's there, and that's why this retract is on the agenda.
Okay, you want to make a motion to retract that
Make a
motion?
motion to retract motion number 18 on 11/9/21 fiscal court minutes.
Second.
Okay, we had a second, then who done that? Okay.
Have you got the price on the cost difference?
I don't.
You don't?
Okay.
If it's being passed on to the homeowner, if it's $100 more, I don't want to.
Well,
have
you
to
said the
make cost.
homeowner. Is it the homeowner or the, everybody?
Well, they're the only ones building on it right now, but they own 2 lots, so they're going to make them pay.
It'd be hard for them to charge all of that off to one person.
Right, they're going to make them pay for the lots they own. Even though they're not going to build on that lot, they have to account for it. So that's North Logan's policy. I guess that's maybe most water departments do that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but that's.
In other words, they got to dig across the road now. Is that what
They're
you're
going to
saying?
cut the road, and then when they cut the road, they're probably going to be busting a bunch of rock. But, you
Yeah,
know,
like you get a whole ram in there.
yeah. So, and since that's being passed on to the homeowner that just built a $250,000 house, I'd hate to
That's a
know.
little house.
Yeah, today.
Like she was saying earlier.
Yeah.
So that one homeowner,
Ain't true.
you keep saying homeowner. That one.
There's one that's going to be paying some of the cost, yes.
Okay, is there any other questions on the motion? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
No.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, next item of business, then, is to approve a encroachment request by North Logan Water District.
Make a motion to approve the encroachment request by North Logan Water, allowing the road to be cut and repaired, accordingly.
I don't know what that means now. I don't know what it means.
You don't know what the,
We're just,
You talking about the same thing?
talking about the same thing.
Same thing, they're gonna cut it.
They're gonna cut it instead of bore it.
Here's,
okay. Number 5, one we just read, what, North Logan Water, what's it mean?
And the last
I
meeting.
know what that means.
Right, the last meeting,
We took off,
well, hold on, the last meeting, Tyler agreed.
right?
To let them, to give them the encroachment if they bored. But now they can't bore because there's so much rock. So now
Okay.
we're agreeing to give them the encroachment and let them cut.
I got it. Okay.
They can do it.
Yeah, well,
They can
It's just
do
too
it.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Cost factor.
It just costs them more.
I got what you, I know what you mean then.
There's a higher cost factor.
You get in there with a hole in that mine, I'll hush you.
Did you make a motion, Tyler?
Yes, I'll make a motion. Allow them to cut the road.
have we got a second yet?
No.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to approve the road cut for North Logan Water District on Cates Bypass
And let it be repaired as well.
and be repaired. Questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Crossley,
No,
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Jack's here anyway.
Okay, so with that being said, because this was the right thing to do, the county does need to set a standard of how that's being done, because, first of all, I can lean on our county attorney. What is these water districts' responsibility to get the service from one side of the road to the other? You know, if this is a public service and, you know, and it's right here, and again, I'm asking the question because I don't know. You know, they don't charge if they bore under the road if it's easy. Nobody charges. It's free to everybody. Or it's a small fee. Small fee. Okay, but wait a minute, hear me out. Then all of a sudden, you want to cut the road up. Well, somebody paid for that. The taxpayer paid for it. So what we just did was take this cost off a public utility and put it on a homeowner, which I think is wrong, okay? But now we've just reversed it and said, you know what, that's wrong. So we just put it on all the taxpayers. So all the taxpayer just incurred that burden of that cost. Right or wrong, we did it, and I think it was the right thing to do, because it wasn't right to tell that homeowner, you gotta pay $20,000 to get water. If we go a mile down the road, it would have cost you $1,200. I don't know what the fee is, but you get my point. We made a decision, because it was the right thing to do, to just cut the road, and the county will bear the burden of, and I'm making up numbers, we went from, you know, a $20,000 road bore to a $2,000 road repair. Is that about a fair assumption? You know, so either which way, the county needs to understand how public utilities are required by law to provide that service across the street. We get into this several times a year, probably twice. You know, and some of them we eat, some of them say, no, you gotta do a road bore. They look at it, oh, it's easy, we'll do a road bore and forget about it. The next one, no, that's hard, it's $20,000, Joe Blow, you gonna pay it. That ain't right, that's not a right policy, you know. We need to have a standard policy so we can at least to our constituents say we followed the guidelines, you know, and right now our guidelines are common sense, and we made a good decision. I know Jack voted against it. I understand why he voted against it. It's because we don't have a guideline. But my question is, why didn't North Logan incur the cost to provide that if you're on this side, you can get free water. free for just a standard tap fee. But if you're on that side, you're going, that ain't right.
So
You
mostly,
know, North
Now, can I
Logan, East
speak?
Logan, South Logan,
I agree.
all of
I
them,
agree.
all of them.
Now, can I
That's
speak?
bull crap.
I agree.
Okay, now, South Logan. It cost, last time I was there, it was $800 per meter.
Okay?
And that's what everybody paid. If it costs more down here, it's still 800 and some dollars. It costs the same for each person, no matter what you went into, it was still the same cost. Nobody got extra, had to pay extra. That's,
So you're saying in this situation, South Logan would have bored under that road and it'd been $850?
that's the same.
Yeah, and that's what I agree with.
Yeah, that's
I
what-
agree to that policy.
that's-
Now, if they look, you know, because here's the problem I have with these public utilities, and it's not just this one situation. It's what's got us in trouble with internet, okay? You know, they cherry pick what they want, and they write these guidelines for this easy street stuff, and then all of a sudden, you know, you ask, ain't nobody provide water there but this water utility. And they the one asked to serve it, not us. And now they want to put that cost on the backs of people who now want to build a home there.
You know,
And or now the taxpayer. Yeah, that's not right. You dig underneath that road, if the county's policy is you do not cut our road, that should be the policy, and I don't care if it costs you $10 or $100. You bore underneath the road, don't cut our road. You know, now, again, common sense needed to take over in this situation. But we need to have a discussion with those utilities and say, what is your policy? And you might need to revisit it because we ain't gonna let you cut the road no more. So if your tap's $850 for everybody, so, you know, you made a couple $100 on this one, but you lost a couple $100 on that one. Maybe you need to go to $1,000 because you got an area over here on Cates Bypass Road that is rock. And if it costs you $20,000 to get over on that side of the road, I mean, hopefully they're doing it one time. You know, hopefully if they're gonna cut this road, they're gonna cut it in a way to get a 6-inch main.
Right.
To, you know, supply 100 houses and 2 fire hydrants,
Right.
you know? I mean, you know, I don't wanna be seeing Cates Bypass cut here and then 2 years later, we're gonna cut it here and 2 years later, we're gonna cut it there. I mean,
like I said,
that's
it's
just
the
not
same
right.
cost to everybody in South Logan.
but what I was gonna say.
I agree with that, Jack.
Don't hold me to this, but North Logan could be $900, just saying a number, or exact cost, because I've seen ordinances like that for cities. So, I mean, yeah, it would be a bad idea for the county to look into those. But if we're having this discussion 2 or 3 times a year and hold them accountable to whatever they are, like Jack
Exact
said.
cost is a hard pill to swallow when you're talking about a utility of water and electric, for sure. And I put internet with it, but water and electric. You know, that, you were commissioned to provide those services in this geographical area. It is not fair to say, this guy right here, we're gonna charge you $50 for a water tap. And that guy over there, we're gonna charge you
Totally agree.
$28,000.
I'm just
to
glad
get a
they asked
water
us
tap.
I
before they
got
cut
3
the road.
houses that can't get
But I
water.
want-
and they can
Wait
see
a
the end
minute,
of the
what'd you
water.
say, Barry?
I have 3 houses that can't get water and they can see the end of the water line
See
because
that?
they won't cut it because of the rock. They won't
Yeah.
put it in. That's not right.
That ain't right, and those utilities need to be brought here before the taxpayer and give an account why they will not do that. You know, they take taxpayers' money to provide that, you know, and I appreciate their service, don't get me wrong. I mean, they do a fantastic job, but you, in this day and time, you can't deny people water. Now, I could understand 20 years ago when they were getting it going and getting your lines going, but when you ask for that geographical area, you own it. I don't care what you gotta do.
I agree.
If you need to take your water bill up 2 cents per 100 to cover the future development of that area, you can increase your water bill 2 cents per 100. It's not right for this guy over here who's on Easy Street to continue paying $15 a month water bill, and the guy on the end of the line can't even get it. It's
Well,
not,
here
that
again,
ain't right.
South
at all,
Logan
man.
Water, speaking of them, they are an association. They're independent, they're an association. Everybody down there is part owner in it. It's an association.
Well, there ain't a water or electric company in existence that isn't receiving some form
Well, yeah, I
of
mean, but
tax.
like I said,
Money.
it's so, it's whatever you cost for this person, the other person's.
That was the only way we were ever able to, you know, get.
I'm not arguing that.
Everybody'd be paying a $400 water bill if we didn't do that, you know. But this is no different, you know. You need to look at what you need to charge to provide everybody in that geographical area that you ask for. And, you know, if you look at that and you say, man, Case Bypass is rock, we need to cut it twice. It's gonna be $20,000 per cut. It's gonna be 10-year development plan. I need to increase water rates 2 cents. I need to increase tap fees by $100. I don't know. Somebody can sit down there and do that math pretty quick.
So I think there also may be a disconnect too between, so if, say there were 7 lots in this situation, well, that could have been, I don't know, that could have been a subdivision. So the subdivision, would the subdivision board have to approve that and the water requirements for that subdivision before
I'm
it's
gonna take
passed?
hell over this one.
I would assume, I've never sat in a full meeting of somebody proposing a subdivision, but I would assume that they are looking, how are you getting water there? How are you getting
Smoke is
electricity
small.
there?
Okay.
How are you getting, you know, storm water runoff, you know, where, you know, I would assume that's how that works, but I don't know if this is a subdivision or not, I just. know
It
it's-
could be.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not 100% sure, but we don't, whenever they approve a subdivision, we don't never know anything about it until after the fact, you know.
I just don't think it's right denying people services
No.
or charging them $20,000
I think it,
to get a water tap.
I think, Thomas, that sold at auction and they divided up lots. I'm not sure, but I think it was a George's property.
The what?
I think it was a George's property.
Gorgeous?
Yeah. And it sold in lots, is what it does. The planning commission had to approve the cuts. You know what I'm talking about, but I don't,
And that's the reason I didn't want to deny that homeowner. I mean, that homeowner's made a $250,000 investment in our community, and I didn't want to put that burden on them. I'd rather tell my tax constituents that I serve that, yeah, I did approve you paying for part of that, because our water district didn't. And that's all I'm gonna say. But that's who paid for it, you know. It ain't that big of a deal, you know, $1,500, you know. You know, it'll be fixed and it'll be good, and, you know,
But now
we've
they're
done it
paying.
before.
It's North Logan's paying for the fix.
So I guess my evaluation of $1,500 is the wear and tear on the road. You know, anytime you do a
Oh,
road
yeah.
cut,
Oh, yeah.
it's not as good of a road as what it was.
It could be I could have put an $800-900 patch on it.
Right.
So,
So, I just think if you're gonna be a public utility of that area,
I agree
you should
with
be responsible of serving it, period, or give that area up, give it to somebody else, or get out of that business.
okay. Did we vote on that?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right, that's the reason I didn't say one word after that was all done, because I didn't want to put a monkey in it. My purpose was make sure that homeowner had water for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay,
Up the road,
They
man.
want to get moved in by Christmas.
Next item of business, I think we could, gave y'all a copy of this CDVG grant agreement. We're gonna take this up at the next court meeting to move forward with this, if y'all remember. If, what did I do with my minutes?
It says discuss.
This was February the 9th, 2021, that we talked about doing the CDBG CV grant. And we got it at the point that they want us to sign the agreement. I want y'all to take it and look at it, and we'll take it up at the next court meeting. I've already talked to the people at Brad, and they said that would be okay. But when we first talked about this, I think I remember telling the court that maybe we'd be paying some of the bills by September. But it looks like it's gonna be over a year from the time we decided to do the grant. And so y'all read through that, and we'll take it up at the next court meeting. But everything with government takes time.
If we got anything else, I'll make a motion with adjourn.
I don't know if anybody's got any
I'll second your motion.
I don't have any.
toast agenda or
I'm
not.
big enough trouble already.
You all right, Jack? Oh, you're like,
Blame it on time.
blame it on me. That's all right. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's no blame. I mean, it's just, you know, we got one public utility performing that service in one way, and another one doing it another, and another one doing it another, and Barry's got 3 homeowners that can't even get it. I mean, I just crazy. Crazy. 2021, we got people can't get water. That ain't right.
Come north of it, we're driving to.
Well, see, in water though, it's a little different. Internet, you
I
can
think
have all
Robert
different
Earl
things.
made a motion, but we ain't got a second yet.
Jack seconded. Jack did.
Jack seconded.
Get out of the business.
Well, that
You know,
thing,
we pump water into Tennessee, because Tennessee can't get water to their own people. So we supply it to them.
8-second bull rides over.
okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Crossley.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Kyle.
Did I mess up or
Golden.
did I mess up?
Yes.
Okay,